let's create a few tier tray items. To make these books, I took a 4x6 plank of wood along with strips of bamboo, which I cut to size, some to 6 inches, the others to 4 inches, and we're going to glue these to the plank. Now, the reason why I constructed mine this way is because I really wanted them made especially to really look like a book, not like those 2x4s or 2x6s that are simply painted with wording on it. I wanted these to really look like books. So I glued my pieces around the 4x6 planks, and I got all these on Temu, by the way. So I put some wood glue and I glued the strips on to each side to make 4 sides and give it the thickness of a book. What's fun is that the bamboo, the way it looks, has strips of lines in them, which makes it look like paper. They're very unique, and I truly love this. And then, in order to be able to work with this a little bit quicker, I added some hot glue in the corners because I didn't put any wood glue there, and the hot glue actually helps to secure it immediately, but the wood glue actually gives you the strength. It could be a little finicky. I won't lie. You could be fighting to keep some of these pieces in place from time to time, but quite honestly, for a few other projects, I've made quite a few of these. Not so much of an issue. Now, the thing with these ones, because I wanted them to look like a real book, the 4-inch side, so the short ends, I cut even a tad shorter than 4 inches because I wanted to have the look of an actual book with a lip. You know how the top of a book is bigger, a hardcover is longer and wider than the actual pages inside, and that is the look that I actually wanted. So the one side is flush to the edge of the plank, while the other 3 sides, which you can't really tell from the video, the edge of the 3 other sides are a little bit more inside, like 1/4 of an inch inside. Now, once you've done your 4 sides, you're going to let it sit. We're now going to take our 3 books and we're going to paint to the back white on all 3 of them. I hope I have enough paint. I've rummaged through all of my cardstock, the 6x6, and I've found 3 for which I'm going to use as covers for these books. So each of these I'm going to lay on top of another 4x6 plank of wood, and I'm going to fold on the left edge. Now that our cardstock is ready and fitted, we're going to Mod Podge one side of the plank, and we're going to glue our paper onto the plank, which will become the top of our book. Okay. So what we're going to do to all 3 of them is we're going to add some glue. I'm actually redoing this one because my recording didn't take. Just to give you an idea. So some wood glue around the edges of our bottoms that we did. And you're going to add your top, the side where the flap is out, yeah, it goes on the flush side. We're going to remove the excess glue. Make sure we're flush. Make sure we have an edge sticking out on both sides to make it look like an authentic, like a real book. And voila. And you're going to let these, all 3 of them, I stacked all of mine with some weight on them for it to dry. Once dry, we're now going to Mod Podge this piece onto the side and the back side. So onto the flush side, and actually let's just Mod Podge the paper, it'll be easier. And then once that's done, just like that. And you can even go as far as to Mod Podging the whole back side to finish it off. And the side. Let's do these edges as well. It's just going to finish it off nicely and give it a good sheen. We'll do the front and the 2 other edges once that's dry. take a 4x6 slat of wood, and we're going to measure just 1 inch from each side of the short side, and 1 inch from the long side. With that, we're gonna draw a line from tip to tip, and we'll cut those off. This is so thin, scissors will do it. And this is what you end up with. Okay, now you're going to take your bamboo strips, and we're going to make them fit. Actually, we're going to make them fit. I want to make them fit on these 3 sides and the back side. So we're basically just going to measure, determine where our edge is. Let me take my ring off. Cut that slat just like that. There we go. And I just did that wrong because I didn't want that. Too bad, you guys. Too bad I wasn't live. You could have told me I was doing it wrong. Doing what I wasn't... Not doing what I said I wanted to do. Alright, here we go. So we're going to have that, and we're going to do the same for these 3 sides. I figure I want my sides to be about that. So I'm going to take a pencil, make a mark, and cut it. And now I need 3 more. So that was 1. That's number 2. That's number 3. And that one's too small. Wood glue, here we come. Okay, so here's what they're gonna look like. These are gonna be our sides. This glue has already started to set, and I literally just put it on. It loves raw wood. And now we're going to do these 3 edges. I believe this is the long one. And here we go. I have wood glued them, and I have hot glued it. I'm going to let it finish setting. But basically we have the body of what, rather than a wheelbarrow, it will become a somewhat of like a wagon of some sorts. I am going for the country theme, in case we were questioning that. Oh, goodness. So yeah. And it's because of the sides, right? Had I not done the sides this way, then we could have said it's a wheelbarrow, but those sides, it dawned on me, what are you doing? It's a wagon. So we'll let that set. And then I thought I had 4 of these round knobs left, so I'll use that as the wheels underneath. So I've added a popsicle stick here, my wheels, and we're now going to stain it. That's what I'll do. I will stain it. Once it's all stained, we're going to paint our wheels black. And what I've also done, if I can actually find it, is I had these wooden hearts. So I took one and stained it, and I'm going to glue it to the back with, obviously, my wood glue. And here's what our wagon looks like, fully stained, the little heart on it. Perfect. Another thing I thought of doing, so I'm going to take one of my bamboo sticks. I'm going to cut it to the length that I want, because I'm going to take the words love, the letters that spell out love, glue them on to that, and just make a little sign. Oops, apparently I don't know how to spell. Now that we have our 4 letters, or whatever our writing or our sentiment written or glued together on a backboard, we're now going to glue it onto a bottom board in order to have it on so that it stands on its own. So here we go. a bead of wood glue. I'm going to center it on this board. It's a piece of bamboo. Center it. Come on, girl. Center it. Gonna clean it up. And there you have it. Once that's dried up, you have another, you now have a sentiment for your tier tray. So I've taken a coaster, a wooden coaster that I've painted white. We're now going to cover it with Mod Podge, and we're going to use this clock cutout, and we're going to center it. Now, that looks good. And then cover that with Mod Podge as well. And we'll let that dry. Very simple project. We could have stenciled the clock on because it is a little on the tiny side. Sadly, the stencil that I have has a mistake in it, and you know how it is. Once you spot something, you can't unsee. Once you see something, you can't unsee it. Let me show you. Let me show you. Just gotta find the stencil here from my stash of stencils. Can't be far. Here it is. So it's very nice and beautiful. However, 1, 2, 3, that is not supposed to be how you write 4 in Roman numerals. So I could not unsee that. There we have it. We're gonna let that dry, and then we'll see if we can add some embellishments of some kind. Now that we have our clock sealed, all nice and pretty, I've purchased these through Temu. It was actually 20 of them. So I have way too many, but the price was right. So these are tiny little plate hangers. They're tiny. They're perfect for this size of a coaster. And now our clock sits perfectly well in a holder. It'll be perfect for our tier tray. Now our birdhouse, the white is all done. We're going to do the roof. Well, I'm going to do the roof in black, as well as the bottom in, I'm debating about the bottom. We'll see about it. But I'm going to paint the roof in black, as well as the, maybe not. I'll start with the roof in black. Let's learn how to make these beautiful die cuts, and then we'll put them on a project. So first we're going to need a cardstock and our dies, right? Without one or the other, there is no cutout. I know there's enough room on here because I did test it out. There we go. There's just enough room on here for this, but we can do it. Okay. We're going to get our die cutting machine and we're going to open it up. We're going to get our plates and we're going to lay this on our plate. Let's make sure we're in line. That is perfect. We're going to add our top plate to this. Making sure that nothing moved. Slip her in there, and we're going to wind it. Now I'm winding it, and it's going to go through from here to here. There we go. Perfect. Oh, one more. There we go. It released. Another out. We'll put our die cutting machine away. And I'll show you what we do next. We'll take this off the plates and we can put them away. All right. Now, our dies and our die cut is all stuck together. We're gonna pull them off, just like so, nice and gentle. And there's our image. It is on the die cut right now. Let's take the other one out. Same way. Nice and gentle. Perfect. And there it is. Now this one has, if you can see, there's extra areas that we need to remove our cardstock from. So we're going to use a pointer and you're just going to poke out those little items. There we go. That easy. They've all fallen. So this one, there we go. That we can get rid of. Now all we have left, there's one still here, is the actual image. And in order to remove it, you'll notice that behind in your die cut, there are tiny little holes. Well, you're going to poke through with your poker into those little holes, and that will release your cardstock, and your cutout will be free. There we go. I've done them all. And notice how it's released. When it stays a little, sometimes one of them doesn't want to come out, you gently entice it. There we go. Just like that. And our image is free. And there we go. The other one has no extra little holes. All we have to do is poke to release our image, our cutout, and this one's a little bit more special though. You are going to have to gently go down the spine, and I free the cutout from the die cut. This one is being extra special. There we go, gentle probing. Oops, I just pushed that one back in. There we go. You can try prying it off with your hands, but with your fingers, it's so delicate, especially these ones, that it scares me. I'm afraid I'll break it, and honestly, there we go. Full on piece. Perfect. Let's get rid of our trash. And now we're ready to go. Okay. We're going to take our die cuts and we're going to add them to our birdhouse. That was the decorating aspect that this piece is missing. So, good old brush, good old Mod Podge. And I've been playing around with this, and I've decided that this vine is going to come right here. Just like that. I don't want her to stick out. And look, she fits just about perfectly here. So rather than adding glue to that, I'm going to add glue directly to the birdhouse, or glue, Mod Podge. And then we'll put her on. Oh, look at that. Isn't that awesome? Look at that. That's just perfect. And now we'll seal it from the top as well. I actually think I'm going to Mod Podge the whole thing to keep it consistent. Perfect. Look at that. I've been contemplating for the longest time which one leaf piece, once I determined what I was actually going to do on here, but a lot of ideas came to mind. Now on the side, I want to add these. Just like that. So we're gonna do the same thing over here. And with our brush, I am in love with this birdhouse now. That is the exact final touches that she needed. And on this side, we'll put the other one. I'm laying it on thick here because I have a fan running. Amazing. Just gonna seal the back. Doesn't need a thick coat. Just enough to keep the look consistent from all sides. Now, the one thing I am debating, because she is cute, but the question is, do we add a bit of vine to the top, or do we just let it drop? And I think I'll let it be, and I'll just seal it.